Good day. My name is Lori Gardner, and I am the Executive Director of Utah Schools to Watch, a program that is sponsored by the State Board of Education. Thank you, Superintendent Long, and to members of the school board for allowing me to come before you today to share my commendations on Milford High School and the staff and faculty there. As you know, Milford High School was honored with the designation of a National Schools to Watch recognition in March. Unfortunately, we were unable to find a space and time that was conducive to these conditions for me to come down and to visit the school and share in the celebration. Normally, what we do is we hold a celebration in the school. We have the superintendent speak. We have members of the community speak. We hear from the choir or the band, and we really make a big deal out of this designation. But of course, we can't do that today. But I would like to share with you what Schools to Watch is and why this recognition is so important. The Schools to Watch program is an affiliate of the National Forum to Accelerate Middle Grades Reform. Schools to Watch programs can be found in 19 states in our country, and we work to identify high-performing middle schools for young adolescents through the ages of 10 to 14. Now, when I say high-performing, it's not just that we're talking about academically high-performing, because there's so much more in educating and bringing up young adolescents that is equally, if not sometimes even more so important. So when we're talking about what we look for in schools, we essentially have 4 pillars. The first one is academic excellence. And by this we mean, are there opportunities for all students, equal access to programs and to opportunities to learn and grow? Are there interventions in place for those students who might need more help? Are there opportunities for students, regardless of whether or not they are students with disabilities or English language learners, or gifted students with gifted abilities? Are there opportunities for them to demonstrate their understanding in ways that elevate their learning and their potential? Are there opportunities for students to explore a wide variety of interests and talents and to learn more about the world around them, the community, the state, the nation, the world? That's what we talk about when we talk about academic excellence, not just test scores. The second pillar is that of developmental responsiveness. And, one of the issues around middle-level education is that it's hard to pinpoint where and who these young adolescents are and where they should be served. We categorize them as young people from the ages of 10 to 14. And we recognize that during this span of time, students are going through tremendous physical, mental, emotional changes. And oftentimes, they're misunderstood. So, great schools for young adolescents are those in which the adults in the building care about the students, they respond to their needs appropriately, and they encourage them to reach for the stars and provide them all the support to be able to do that. The third pillar is that of social equity. And by that we mean, are opportunities available for all students? Are students with special needs in general ed classrooms? Are students who are second language learners provided access to the general core curriculum? Are families, regarding of their income or their ethnicity, welcome into the school and play a part in their students' education? Are students provided with a rich opportunity to learn about the cultures of others and to demonstrate their awareness of of the needs of others in the community. The fourth pillar, which you wouldn't find necessarily in all of the literature regarding Schools to Watch, is that of organizational structures. And it is in this category that all else rests on, because these structures that are put in place by the leadership in the district and in the school provide the means by which the school can engage in continuous improvement. So let me share with you a little bit about Milford High School's journey. It started in about 1917, that may have been when the school started, in 2017, when then Superintendent Terry had really, with his leadership team, had really started looking at, who these young adolescents are and what is the district and schools doing for them to best help them meet their needs. At the time, the superintendent's wife who was principal of Red Hills Middle School in Richfield, had just had her school recognized as a Schools to Watch. And through her story about how the process really changed the culture and climate in the school for the betterment of the young people, certainly, and for the adults as well, he became curious about what this was all about. And so he and members of his leadership team, principals from schools, gathered together to be part of the Schools to Watch Leadership Academy, which is something that we hold yearly. It provides school teams the opportunity to visit Schools to Watch schools in the state and to learn from leaders and educators in those schools about what they're doing to transform the education for young adolescents. Principal Clough was so impressed by what he saw that he took that year, in the summer of 2017, a group of his teachers, his entire faculty, to the National Schools to Watch Conference in Washington, D.C. And there they were able to learn from and visit with and hear from schools that are just excellent throughout the country. And they during that time also coalesced their beliefs around what they wanted for the young students at Milford High School, and thereby then proceeded to make some significant changes. So while this Schools to Watch designation is for the grades 7 and 8 in the school, really what I'm sure Principal Clough and members of his faculty could tell you is that it is what they've done for those younger students has transformed what they're doing for their older students. The inclusion of interventions in the course of the school day to help all students who might be struggling in one area or another. The focus on providing learning opportunities that really are engaging and relevant and pertinent to students' lives. And the teamwork that has been generated by the factor of all teachers working together for all students. Those are just some of the hallmarks of the school. This is a 3-year designation. Every school, and we have 16 of them, or 14 of them in the state of Utah, every school must go through the rigorous process of redesignation every 3 years, showing that they still meet those benchmarks and the original criteria, but they're also continuously moving forward. We have some schools that have been Schools to Watch now for well over a decade. Those schools, our Schools to Watch schools, are urban and rural. They span from Blanding, Utah to Tremont, Utah, along the Wasatch Front, along the Wasatch Back. We've had a school in Tooele. They represent student and communities that are diverse. Some are very large schools. Others, like Milford High School, are very small. But what they all have in common is a dedication to these young adolescents and dedication to do best for them. So on behalf of the State Office of Education and the National Schools to Watch program, I would just like to commend again Milford High School for the work that you've done in attending to the needs of your young adolescents, worthy of being deemed as schools to watch. I look forward to being in your community as soon as possible. Thank you.